Hi everybody, my name is Miles Wallace and I'm with Peak Performers. We're a nonprofit staffing and recruiting agency that helps professionals with disabilities find jobs and advance their careers. I'm here today to tell you about the top jobs that we're recruiting for this week of June, as well as give you a weekly recruiter tip specifically for those within the LGBTQIA+ community as part of Peak Performers alignment with Pride Month. Let's jump right into it. First up on the top jobs, are you an experienced accountant who has used CAPS before? And would you like to be considered for working with the Texas Railroad Commission? If so, we'd like to see your resume very soon. Next up, are you a reliable office professional who is a whiz with Microsoft Office and would you like to work for a state agency? If so, we are currently looking for an administrative assistant. Are you currently looking to relocate to El Paso? And are you bar certified with skills in mediation, negotiation, and legal writing? If so, we are currently looking for an assistant attorney general to relocate to El Paso within the next year. Next up, are you currently seeking a long-term contract and do you have skills as a technical writer? We'd love to see your resume. Are you currently looking for an office job and do you have experience with mortgage or banking software? If so, we'd like to consider your resume for a license and permit specialist. Are you currently looking for a permanent role and do you have experience working as an accountant? If so, we're currently working with a private company and we'd like to consider your resume for an accounting position. This is a temp to perm opportunity. For this week's weekly recruiter tip, we want to do a combination of frequently asked questions as well as job seeking advice for the LGBTQIA+ community. My number one tip that I'd like to throw out there is look at the public messaging that companies state out there. You can oftentimes find this within the diversity, equity, and inclusion statement. You can also find this within the social media. My second tip, and this is kind of very similar to the first, is look for outward symbols that companies have to know whether you might be welcome in a place like that or not. For our own part, Peak Performers has a sticker in our window and also a badge on our website as part of our alignment with the Yelp's Open to All pledge. This particular organization basically just acknowledges that as a business, we are open to any resumes of any people that want to work. And that's something that we believe very strongly in. You can look for various different other symbols as well that companies might do to signal that they are LGBTQIA+ friendly. My third tip is look for referrals. And honestly, this should apply to any job seekers out there. It's estimated that 75% of all jobs are filled by who you know. They're filled by referrals. Ask other people that you know, where do you work and how does that company treat folks like me? My fourth tip, do I put various different things that might signal that I'm LGBTQIA+ on my resume or not? In general, the advice that I have for most job seekers is don't try to conceal who you are. You're not going to be comfortable and you may really face struggles with being able to be promoted at work. So if the experience that you have on your resume, say for example it was working for a LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, or say for example you were part of a queer club back in college, if it's relevant to who you are and the experience that you bring to the table, I'd say include it. The fifth tip, and you probably don't need to hear this coming from me, but there are various different parts of the country that you're going to be more welcome in than others. Even working for the same company, your experience may be vastly different if you are in a very rural area versus a very urban town. So do your research ahead of time and make sure that you are applying geographically for a place where you are going to fit in and feel welcome. My number 6 tip is actually discussing what to wear, all right? And in general, the advice that I would give to all the folks in the LGBTQIA+ community is to dress comfortably and dress professionally and just be yourself. My number 7 tip, and this is when you get to the interview stage, is make sure to ask about employee research groups and affinity groups. This oftentimes can be a way to know whether you are going to have a social network to fall back on and a support group to fall on once you actually get into the workplace. And my 8th and final tip is make sure that you ask about benefits, especially if the circumstances for you might be different from some of the other straight workers that are in the office place. So this could be things like asking about parental leave benefits that are available. This also could be asking about things like, does our health insurance provider cover gender affirming surgery? Again, this has been Miles from Peak Performers wishing you a happy Pride Month, and we'll see your resume very soon. Take care.